Hi. Tonight's video helps us to learn about how to measure segments, how to measure angles, how to classify angles based upon their size, how to recognize the parts of a degree, and how to recognize what congruent segments or congruent angles are. I hope you enjoy it and find it helpful. Thanks. Straight objects, like segments, are measured using rulers. Rulers can be graded in inches, meters, miles, yards, any type of linear distance. You can't measure lines or rays because they're infinite. Angles, on the other hand, are measured in radians or degrees. A radian or a degree measures the amount of turning from one side to the other side of an angle occurring at the vertex. We won't deal much with radians this year. That's something you'll learn more about in pre-calculus. But degrees will be something we use often. At some point, you've probably been taught that there are 360 degrees in a circle. This is to say that if you rotated a point on a circle and came all the way back to the place where it started, it would have rotated 360 degrees around the circle. Why 360? Well, think about it. It's a number that's divisible by a lot of other numbers. So to a civilization like the Greeks that didn't have access to calculators, 360 was a good choice. It's divisible by 2, by 3, by 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, etc. You get the idea. Half of a circle, since it's half of 360, is 180 degrees. There are some angles that we should know just by sight. Angle B, or angle ABC, is a 90-degree angle. We say that it is also called a right angle. Angle E, or angle DEF, is a 60-degree angle. Angle H is a 45-degree angle, so it's half the size of angle B. And angle K is a 30-degree angle. It's half the size of angle E. These are really important angle measures in this class, and we'll deal with them frequently. We often categorize angles depending upon their size. Angles which are smaller than 90 degrees but greater than 0 are called acute angles. An acute angle is greater than 0 but less than 90. If an angle is exactly 90 degrees, there we go, it's called a right angle. As A rotates and becomes larger, we get angle measures that are greater than 90. Those are called obtuse angles. And if we become a straight line, we make what's called a straight angle. And a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. There's one last bit of vocabulary in this section before we move on to the EduCreations tutorial on parts of a degree. And that deals with what happens when you have two segments or two angles that have the same size. If we looked at the length of AB and the length of CD, we would see that they are both 8.75 centimeters, which would mean that the two lengths are equal. But they don't occupy the same position in space. So we can't say that AB is equal to CD, only that their measures are equal. So in geometry, we use something called a congruency statement. And we say that segment AB is congruent to segment CD. You can see that it's very similar to an equal sign, but it has the tilde above the equals sign to indicate that they're not occupying the exact same position in space. They're not exactly equal, just their measurements. The same thing could be said of angles. Angle L and angle M have the same measurement. They're both 48 degrees. And so we say that angle L is congruent to angle M. We'll see that in diagrams, two segments that have the same length might have a common tick mark, like one slash through it, might indicate that those two segments are congruent. Or you might have an arc drawn in an angle to indicate that those two angles are congruent. And so congruent angles might look something like that in a diagram. Okay, that was the introduction to measuring segments and angles. If you had any trouble with any parts of it, go back, rewind, and hit pause and just try and take notes and understand the material. Nothing's got very difficult yet. My 8th grade son was just in here watching the video and he said, "Oh my God, Dad, that stuff's so easy." Trust me, it's going to get more challenging. We're just giving you the tools so that we're all speaking the same language at this point. I put on an Educreations tutorial also attached to tonight's post, so please take time to see how we're going to apply some of this new vocabulary, new information, as we break up angles into their parts like degrees and the parts of degrees like minutes and seconds. So good luck, and thanks for watching.